Well, hi, Alma. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. So, what did you want to talk about today?
Oh, just having some issues with my dad. He's very controlling. He's very old-fashioned, I
Mhm.
guess. Just controlling and just wants me to live like he did back in the days.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
I think I remember us talking a little bit about how you were having trouble with raising your daughter, and how he kind of wanted to influence you on how, and y'all were kind of, I guess, at opposite views on how you should raise your daughter.
yeah. So he was very strict. I'm wasn't allowed to hang out with friends or go anywhere.
Mhm.
Um, I had to actually fib to be part of activities at school
Mhm.
because he was so strict.
Mhm.
Um, and my daughter, I let her be cheerleader and um, go hang out with friends, spend the night with friends, and he doesn't think that I need to give her that much freedom.
Mhm.
Then I need to keep her more at home and kind of like a prisoner. I always felt like I was a prisoner.
Mhm.
I used to put a paper on my door say prisoner cell block A
Mhm.
because he was so strict. I thought maybe that would help him. Maybe he would let me out, but he
Mhm.
wouldn't let me do
Mhm.
anything. So
Did he get mad when he saw the sign?
sometimes, yes,
Yeah.
and he thought I was grounded, but what difference did it make? I was already grounded anyways.
Mhm.
Felt
Mhm.
that way, so
Mhm.
it's just been rough. So don't know how to deal with him.
Okay. So do you feel, so he feels like you're too relaxed with her, letting her do all these things. And you said that you let her go and hang out with friends and are a part of organizations. When you let her to go hang out with friends, do you get to meet the parents? Like, do you feel, or do you just trust her judgment on who she's hanging out with?
I usually know the parents.
Okay.
They're friends of mine, or if they're new, friends that she's met at school. I do make sure I know who their mom and dad is, where they work, where they live,
Mm-hmm.
and just make sure they're okay for her to be around.
Okay.
So
So in a way, you are a little bit, not controlling like your dad, but you do have, you can see, like, you get to not interview per se, but just you get to know what kind of people they are. So you're not just letting your child run the streets.
oh,
And
no.
but your dad kind of has this
My
feeling
dad
that you
thinks
are.
that she just needs to stay home. She's got a TV at home. She got paper and pencil at home. She can be home. She don't need to be in the streets with friends. She don't need to go nowhere. She got a house to live in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he used to say.
Mm-hmm.
You have a house. You have a room. You got a TV. You don't need to go nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
You got
Mm-hmm.
food. You don't need to go nowhere.
Well, she still has to go to school though.
Yeah. And it was in me. It was go to school and come straight home after school.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't try out for cheerleader. I couldn't be in the band. I couldn't do none of that. So as I got to high school years, I had to tell him that it was mandatory for me to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to be in the band. I had to be in the drill team, and I
Just
had
so
to
you could do these
just
adventures.
so I could do these things, or otherwise they weren't. I wasn't able to.
So, like, when you wanted to hang out with friends, would he let you? You wouldn't be able to hang out with your friends?
No, I had one friend. Well, I had friends at school, but at home I could not spend the night with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend that lived across the street. I was allowed to go across the street for maybe 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
She could spend the night, but if every now and then, and it was pulling teeth to spend the night with her. If I did, it was up at the crack of dawn and back home.
Oh wow.
And he didn't let me. I mean, I had a bicycle, but I couldn't ride it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, from one stop sign to the other, one right there in front of the house where he could see me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 17,
Mm-hmm.
so it was just very, very strict, very,
Mm-hmm.
very, very, very strict. So he just felt that I need to do that with my daughter, and she's smart, she's active, she's just not a problem child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think she's doing fine.
Mm-hmm. So what made you think? I know your dad was very controlling. What do you think? Like, before she was born, that you yourself thought one day, when I have kids, maybe I'll be a little bit more lenient, because you didn't like how your house felt kind of like a prison, as you said, you
Yeah.
were a prisoner in your room.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
most definitely. I always thought, well, when I have a kid, she's not going to do this or he's not going to do that, because it was just like, I didn't want her to live like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I let her do what things that I couldn't do.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
And, but I don't know if it had to do with the way he was raised or what, but he was just very, very strict.
Okay. Now, where was he born?
He was born in Texas,
Mhm.
but when he was born, he had some kind of medical, something was wrong.
Mhm.
And my grandparents, well, they were Catholic, so culture stuff. My grandma made a promise to the Virgin Mary
Mhm.
that if my dad would live and be okay, she would dress him like a girl for 5 years.
Mhm.
So his name was Mary,
Mhm.
and he wore a dress for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So when he turned 6 and she tried to put pants on him, there was a problem because he didn't want pants.
Did he know he was a boy, that he didn't have to wear dresses, or it was weird that he shouldn't wear dresses,
He
or
just didn't know. He wore
He
a
didn't know
dress
any
for
better.
5 years.
okay.
His brothers, he had brothers.
Uh-huh.
They
And he
wore
saw them in pants.
Yeah,
Okay.
but he was special. He wore a dress and,
And-
had
and-
long hair and a ponytail.
Oh, wow.
And so when it time came, he just no.
Okay. And did his older brothers ever say anything or tease him or
I
anything?
doubt it because I think
Because grandmother had the.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't think there was any of that going on.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty.
Pretty strict, and
Mhm.
the family knew what was going
Mhm.
on, and this is okay. Wow. So when he got older, did he ever? I guess did he ever question, or was he okay? Like he understood, or what? I mean,
He didn't like it as when he
realized?
became man.
yeah.
Given his name, he hated giving the name Mary. His name was Joe.
Mhm.
So he hated giving the name Mary. And if you asked him for his middle name, he didn't want to tell you.
So Mary's not his first name. It
No,
was
it's
Joe. Okay.
Joe Mary.
Okay.
Like Joseph and Mary.
Mhm. Oh, so he didn't really want to talk about that.
No.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
Does he resent maybe his family doing that, or
I don't think so.
Does he understand that? Like,
Yeah,
kinda,
he knows that it was a religion type thing. Grandma, I mean, she was very religious. She
Mhm.
was very much into her doing a rosary all the time, praying, and
Mhm.
so he understood her part in that. He
Mhm.
just he had to wear a dress. So,
So when you were growing up, were y'all very involved in the church too? In the Catholic Church, I think you said that.
no, my grandmother was gone, but she never learned how to drive.
Okay.
So, and I was raised by her.
Okay.
So, we'd go when we could go, but
Mhm.
Grandpa wouldn't take us, and
Mhm.
he was the driver.
Gotcha.
So, that's why she mostly did her praying at home.
Mhm.
Had her own little corner altar that she prayed at, but it was everything was family.
Mhm.
So,
Okay. Okay. So how is your faith now? Like with raising your daughter, do y'all attend church, or do you
yes.
What is your thoughts?
Oh yeah, yes. Of course, I changed from mine. I was raised Catholic,
Mhm.
and I've what do you call it? Switched. I'm a Baptist,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
we go to Baptist church.
Mhm. Your daughter does too?
Yes,
Okay.
she does too. And I think she's right now she goes to non-denominational because
Oh, okay.
she likes the worship team thing,
Mhm.
the life groups,
Okay.
and we don't have life groups, so.
Gotcha. So she's plugged in at that church,
Mhm.
and then you're really plugged in and involved in your church, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I remember you saying something about that you were in the choir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Choir.
That's awesome. So, do you think, I know Dad is controlling, do you think there's some understanding of why he may be like that? Like, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
as far as when you were growing up, I'm sure, I know you said your grandmother raised you too,
Oh, yeah.
so I'm sure it was more,
Part
very
of-
sheltered.
Part of that, of him being overprotective and very controlling,
Mhm.
was that my mom was killed when
Mhm.
I was a child.
Mhm.
So I was all it. I was
Mhm.
it. My
Mhm.
mom was